Hello everyone, welcome to day one of my 12 Days of Christmas for 2020. It's the second time I've kind of done a 12 Days of Christmas thing, so if you weren't around last year for it, basically for the next 12 days leading up to Christmas Eve, which is the final day, every day we're going to be focusing on a different show, and I do a different kind of video on each one just to celebrate shows that I've kind of watched or loved in the past year or so. And yeah, it could be, reactions related to it, it could be rewatches of episodes, it could be some craft projects kind of like this one, all sorts of stuff that I kind of do a bit different kind of things really for the channel apart from reactions. So yeah, I'm really excited to get back into doing these because Christmas is my favourite time of year, and I think we all could do with Christmas after 2020 because my god, this year's been rough. And yeah, what better way of capping things off, I guess, by celebrating some of the shows that I've had on my channel over the past year. So obviously 12 days, 12 different shows. Some of them, it's kind of like technically I've seen them or I've like reacted to one episode of them in the past year so they can count. That's kind of how I've come up with the order. I thought of all the activities to do for each one, and then I put them all through a random number generator, and that's how I got the order of the days. So it is completely randomized. There's no, thinking put into, which day is on when. It's just kind of random. So randomly, day one is The Walking Dead, which is very good because that's kind of been the mainstay of my channel for quite some time. It has been basically non-stop constant presence on my channel since I first started reacting to it as a catch-up series. And I mean, I absolutely adore it. And the last few seasons have really picked up again, and it's just great time to be a Walking Dead fan, I think. I mean, bittersweet because we know the show's coming to an end next season, but there's spin-offs galore, and the whole world itself isn't actually going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, I'm nervous about how this one's going to turn out for sure, because this is a bit of a risky one and it could go horribly, horribly wrong. But we're going to try it anyway. And I knew I wanted to do something surrounding Glenn for this video because I miss Glenn. He was my favourite character, probably always will be. And I was like, well, what kind of different kind of thing can I do? So I've done a video before for like a Walking Dead week about why I love him and why I love his relationship with Maggie and what that character means to me and everything. So I was like, what can I do differently? And then I don't know why I even thought to do it, but something that I was always really drawn to and would like my own copy of, I guess, is the painting of Glenn that Maggie has in her wall in season 9 that Anne painted for her. She has like one of him, like Herschel, Beth, all that kind of thing. I just love that tribute to him, and I think it's such a lovely idea. So here we are. I'm going to try my best, and we're going to hopefully recreate the painting of Glenn that's in The Walking Dead season 9. I don't know how this is going to go. Honestly, it could be quite horrendous because I'm not used to doing something quite on this scale before. But I've had this blank canvas around for years, and I was like, well, I might as well use it, and I've got paints to get through, and yeah. I haven't properly sat down and painted anything on a canvas like this in quite some time, so I'm kind of nervous to see how it's going to go. But we're going to try and recreate it and have a bit of fun, and if it goes horribly wrong, I'm sure it will be an entertaining video, if nothing else. So yeah, let's give this a try. I guess I do have a reference picture. I don't know if you can see it there. No, you can't. I'll show it here. Got a little reference picture, screen cap of the episode in case you can't remember what it is. So loads of different like purples and greens in there. So what I'm going to tentatively try and do is kind of draw a bit of an outline of everything on the canvas, first in pencil, and then maybe like a colour by numbers kind of situation to make it as good as it possibly can be. I'm not holding out much hope because, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Anne did a bloody good job considering she never met Glenn to make it look like him. Like, Maggie's descriptions must have been on point. So I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out, also dreading it, but I guess we just need to dive right in. Okay, so we have a basic kind of pattern now for me to follow. It kind of fell apart where I knew it would in the face, because I'm rubbish with like facial features and stuff. I just can't do it. But aside from that, I'm kind of happy with the generic shape and structure of it. So yeah, I'm not expecting it to turn out brilliantly with the face, unfortunately. But yeah, I do find it very difficult to free draw someone and get it looking exactly like a person. That's why I don't tend to draw people, as we will clearly come to see. But it could have gone worse, probably. And I've taken a bit of a creative license with exactly the structure of these like shapes in the background, and I'm going to improvise a bit how I paint this bit, because obviously it's made up of loads of different colours. You know, a lot of it is black, because obviously his hair is black, but there's some like grey kind of colours in there, there's a bit of pink in there. His face is like purpley and green, so I'm going to do a bit more of my own kind of thing with that side of things, I guess, just to make it a bit different. And obviously I won't have Anne written there, I'll probably just write my name there once I'm done. But yeah, I guess now we just try and fill it in and see how it turns out. Could have gone worse, but I'm still not happy with the face. But we'd be here for 25 years if I tried to get it even remotely right. So sorry, Stephen, sorry, Glenn. Well, all right then. Let's see how this goes. So yes, Glenn will forever be my favourite character, I think. I just loved his story. I saw a lot of myself in him. I thought Stephen's performance was just fantastic throughout his run on the show, and Glenn and Maggie's relationship just meant a lot to me as well. I was absolutely devastated by his ultimate fate. But who's your favourite Walking Dead character? What's your favourite season? Favourite episodes? Let me know. I've been rewatching Walking Dead with my dad recently. We went through it from the start because he hadn't seen it. And man, it was just such a crazy experience kind of going through it all again. So I hadn't really had the time to ever rewatch a lot of it. I'd watched a few episodes here and there, like the big episodes, but I hadn't properly gone through it from the beginning before. And it's just such a kind of crazy experience to kind of see how it all started, where it's ended up at the moment, like who's no longer with us, who's still around, who had yet to be introduced. It was kind of crazy to see. But yeah, season 4 is probably my favourite season. Season 4 or season 9. Like, rewatching season 4, that's a bloody good season. I loved everything with that. I loved Herschel as well, of course. I adored Herschel. Oh, nearly dropped the lid on the paint then. That would have been a bit of a disaster. And yeah, everything with that. And I love the second half in particular, with everyone kind of split away in their own separate like bits. And I think they know that formula kind of worked well because they've done it so many times since with all the other Walking Dead shows. So I think either season 4 or season 9 would be my favourite. Glenn would be my favourite character. But I also really love Connie, if I had to pick from like some of the newer characters in the recent seasons. But of course I love Maggie as well. Carol. Some blimmin' good characters on the show, that's for sure. And to have seen the franchise grow as well is kind of crazy. But like Fear the Walking Dead kicking off, me catching up with that as well, and then to actually be around when a new Walking Dead show launched with World Beyond was actually a really cool experience, because I hadn't actually experienced that before, seeing like a new Walking Dead show start. I hadn't been around for any of that, because Walking Dead and Fear had already started by the time I actually got to them. So that was fun, and I ended up really liking World Beyond. Slow start for sure, but good stuff overall. I was very pleased with it in the end. I'm not being like particularly careful about like going over lines or anything, because I feel like it's one of those paintings really. It's not like supposed to be particularly neat or anything. It's kind of abstract and a bit, you know, that's kind of what it's going for, I think. It's not necessarily neat, which is good for me, because if it had to be very neat and stuff, I'd be very perfectionist over it, and it would take me about 5 times as long. So it's probably a blessing that that's not what we're going for with this. It's me putting my love for the character onto a canvas, and it's kind of getting me back into painting, which I haven't done in ages, because I literally got this canvas probably, I don't know, 3 Christmases ago. I just haven't done anything with it, so I thought this would be a good way of using it. Who are your favourite Walking Dead reactors? Let me know that as well. Obviously, like Seska Says is my go-to for sure, because Walking Dead Queen, of course. But all those, if you watch the Skybound Reactor compilations for every episode that goes out, I watch so many of those guys because they're just absolutely hilarious. You know, Katie, Michonne D or Michonne, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce their channel name actually. Yeah, there's a lot of really great Walking Dead reactors in the community. And I love how good Skybound are with reactors and like actually like make compilations and stuff. Obviously, I do have a lot of copyright issues with Walking Dead shows. They always get blocked, without a doubt, at some point or other. Like even now I'm getting notifications from like season 4 videos that get blocked. I'm like, I posted that 2 years ago, why are you only blocking it now? But it's a weird system, isn't it? But I do like the Walking Dead reaction community a lot, how we all kind of can come together in such a way and just enjoy our shows. Or, you know, at times, not enjoy the shows, which I also like Skybound for, because they'll include like criticisms in their compilations as well. Because basically every compilation for season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead was us hating on the show. And they still like made stuff and included those. So I like how they kind of interact with fans and handle them. I think it's really cool. In terms of favourite episodes, The Grove really stood out to me when we rewatched that. But of course that is a fan favourite. Killer Within is also excellent. Basically every finale. Walking Dead's very good with season finales, I think. I really like the season 7 finale. I know a lot of people aren't that big on season 7, but I really enjoy season 7, and that's considering I lost this guy in it. Literally in episode 1. But I really like season 7 a lot. It does have some slower episodes and slower moments. But I feel like Dad, when we were watching it, really enjoyed that season. He really got into it, I think, at around that point. Obviously he was into it beforehand, because otherwise he wouldn't have got into season 7. He would have said, this is rubbish, please stop watching it with me. But he was always very keen to kind of watch more every day, which is a pretty good sign of the quality of the show and how he enjoyed it. Like he never really wavered. But anyway, we've got some cool stuff coming up for the 12 Days of Christmas. I really like the lineup that I've kind of picked out this year and like the different range of activities and stuff. I think I've got some pretty interesting ideas. I haven't actually filmed them all yet. This is like the 5th video I filmed because of like I had to wait for some paints and brushes and stuff to arrive before I could film this one, obviously. So I've actually filmed some other ones first. I'm about halfway through filming as I'm doing this one. By the time you watch this, they'll all be done. But I do know I have some really cool stuff. Different mix of things, I think, which is pretty cool. Ultramarine? Damn. Got some cool shade names for these paints. I think that'd be a really cool job to like be the person who like comes up with the names of the shades. I could do that. Okay, background is basically done, so now we're moving on to the man himself, man of the hour. Okay, so that was that. The whole thing in all took about 90 minutes, which is a lot longer than I assumed it was going to take, very naively. But ultimately, we got through it, and I'm genuinely happy with it. And I didn't think I'd be saying that when all this was said and done. I thought it was going to be a disaster. Honestly, I got, as I started painting it in, I was actually starting painting like Glenn's face and everything itself. I was like, this is going to look awful. This is going to be horrendous. But as I kind of started filling in all of it, and particularly near the end, I think it really came together when I started actually repainting the features back on with like just a bit of black paint, like going over the eyes and then putting the nose back in, because it kind of obviously disappeared a bit, the pencil, when I was painting it, obviously. And it's kind of losing me a bit then, and I was like, oh god, I've done the hair way too long. I still think I did do the hair a bit too long on the side. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. I don't think it necessarily looks particularly like Glenn or Stephen Young by any means. But I think if you were shown this and they said, you know what, this is a Walking Dead character, who is it? I'd like to think a lot of people would say Glenn, hopefully. But yeah, I'm genuinely happy with it, genuinely pleased. I really didn't think it was going to turn out as well as it ultimately did. Yeah, it's not perfect by any means, likeness wise and stuff. Definitely this bit, I think I made the hair way too long, kind of looking at the comparisons now, but it is what it is. It was a bit hard to undo black paint, so I kind of rolled with it. So yeah, a bit kind of emo-esque, I think, with the hair in the end, like Kylo Glenn, you might say. But ultimately, I'm really I'm pleased with it. It looks weird actually looking at it from this angle, because obviously the image is flipped as I'm looking at it on the camera, so I'm not used to seeing it like that. But yeah, I'm blimmin' pleased with that. Genuinely happy. There's a few bits where like the paint hasn't properly taken to the canvas, so I might go over them at some point. But yeah, I also took a bit of creative liberty with the colours that I used for the most part. The background, at least this top bit's fairly accurate to the one from the show, but his face and stuff, I kind of added a few different colours in. So put a bit more red in than there is in the actual show. And yeah, I think it really did come together in like the last 5 minutes when I was like painting the features back on. Just like putting the eyes and the nose and going over the lips properly as well. The lips aren't brilliant. I did kind of lose the shape of those a bit, so that's an improvement to make. But overall, I'm bloody pleased with that, and hopefully you'll enjoy seeing the compilation of me painting it. Because it took an hour and a half, my camera battery ran out, so I couldn't continue doing commentary as I painted the rest of it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. A little ode to my favourite character. Oh, Glenn. Oh, how I miss you so. And yeah, that's going to be everything for this video for day one of the 12 Days of Christmas. Obviously 11 more days to go yet, 11 more shows, so hopefully you'll look forward to different kind of things about all of those as well. And yeah, let me know, what you've been thinking of The Walking Dead in recent years. What's your favourite character, your favourite season, your favourite episodes, all that jazz as we celebrate The Walking Dead heading into next year as it kicks off its final season, wraps up season 10, all those exciting things. So yeah, very pleased with this. I had a lot of fun doing it as well. And yeah, 12 Days of Christmas, 1 down, 11 to go. So I will see you tomorrow for day 2. Thanks for watching.